And we're live.
Freedom! Here at the courthouse in Brampton, gonna serve some package of evidence and report crimes against humanity.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, not me, but us.
Yes, we need accountability.
Yeah, we do. Long time coming.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Hey,
How are you? Good. I'm just going to put the cigarette over here so I don't hit
See you again.
Yes. It's a nice fun time.
Exactly.
He just had to block it off on the website. Yeah. I've been in contact with him.
How are you?
I'm good.
Beautiful flags. It's a celebrity.
Where's Shelby?
She's getting fixed. Here.
I should have mentioned it.
Give me the flag. Hey! How are you doing? Good?
Good. Much better. Not before.
Good.
2 weeks sick like hell.
Yeah, so Amy and I went through it for a month, so yeah.
Yeah, that was the season. That was bad
You
time.
feeling better?
Yeah.
Good.
Feeling
Good.
better.
Nice.
Thank you, Liberty.
It'll be a nice day. Look, we got the sun out
Yeah.
and it's snowing.
And snow. And it's around 0.
Yeah. And then whenever you get the link, you can send it to me.
Okay. Okay, good.
you,
Do I have a...
you my number? Yes.
Yeah, I have
Freedom,
it. Yeah, I
everyone,
remember
freedom.
on the
Yes.
cell phone. On the
Yes.
cell phone.
Yeah.
Because I think where I have
Everybody,
it on
It's going to be a big day
WhatsApp.
today, a very big day for the movement. Over the last little while, we're starting to go on the offense, and that's what we're going to do today. We're taking it to them. We're here to report a crime today. I'm not going to steal much from Jack. Jack's going to come just kind of explain a little bit more of what we're doing today. But operationally, after we leave here, we're just going to walk out here. We're going to walk to the intersection. We're going to walk across to 22 Division. We'll ask everybody to line up in front of the police station along the sidewalk. Jack and I and a couple other people will go in, and we're going to report a crime. And Jack's going to explain that. After, we're going to come back. We're going to get packed up. Then we're going to go down to Queen's Park. And then we're going to visit Queen's Park. And then we're going to go visit the Attorney General's office. Lieutenant Governor's office, my apologies. And get the police to come as well. So we'll have a little fun afternoon. But let's get things started quickly and then get ready to move. I'll have Jack come. He's just going to kind of give us a brief explanation of the events that we're going to do over here, and we'll go from there. Jack.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so one of our chief complaints is that the people who are experts at due process work in that building right there. That's the Ontario Court of Justice. And they know all about due process, and not once from the Lieutenant Governor, who signed us into 3 declarations of emergency and 3 extensions of emergency and stay-at-home orders and COVID measures and all the other things, did we get any due process information on oath. So you do not lose a freedom except by due process, Section 1A of the Canadian Bill of Rights. So we've already asked police officers if we can see their due process information. They says, we don't have anything. We have what you have, which everybody has nothing. I've never seen anything on oath that SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 exists. And so because we've gone to police stations repeatedly and they've not investigated, they've determined non-criminal, and we got the Freedom of Information request of the incident numbers showing that they did not do the work to investigate it. We also criminalize detectives for perverting or defeating the course of justice, which is Section 139, bracket 2 of the Canadian Criminal Code. So what we have right here is a homicide trial record. It's a murder trial record because people have died when something very bad was done. So Section 229C of the Canadian Criminal Code, culpable homicide as murder, states that if you do something very bad and somebody dies and you did not intend for a death to occur, it becomes murder. So locking people down has caused suicides. Everybody knows that if you put somebody in isolation, it will cause suicide. So there is a foreseeability factor too. So it's murder. So now, with regards to the Ontario Court of Justice, right over there, the intake office, which is the Justice of the Peace office, was closed from March 17, 2020, the first declaration of emergency, for approximately 20 months. So none of us had the ability to file a private prosecution against anybody. The only people that had access to the criminal courts was the police. So you and I, we did not have equality before the law and the protection of the law. A criminal code violation, they disobeyed a statute, they disobeyed the Canadian Bill of Rights, Section 1B, equality before the law and the protection of the law. The intake office at the Ontario Court of Justice is an essential service. The Lieutenant Governor of Ontario defeated or perverted or obstructed an essential service. And by definition, that's Section 83.01, bracket 1 of the Canadian Criminal Code, terrorism. And since there's a death in terrorism, it's murder, but it becomes first degree murder, Section 231, bracket 6.01, first degree murder. So we are here to report to the police, not just the Lieutenant Governor, who locked us into 3 emergencies, 3 extensions, stay-at-home orders, etc., without due process, still to this day, 3 years plus 1 day after the first declaration of emergency. No information on oath to anybody, including police officers, has been given. So that's a violation of due process. It's disobeying a statute. People have died. It becomes murder. So one of the reasons why we're at Peel, we've chosen Peel, because we've gone to numerous other police services: London, Toronto, Halton, Hamilton, Niagara, Guelph, Waterloo, Midland, Aurelia, etc., OPP, including Burlington OPP as well. And we've not come to Peel. So what we are essentially going to be doing here is we are going to ask the police to bypass, using Section 23 of the Police Services Act, to bypass the process of the commission and act in place of the commission or commissioner to give assistance to disband police services, police forces, as well as Associated Police Services Board, and appoint an administrator to perform a replacement of the named police forces and boards, and immediately investigate the criminal complaints within the incident numbers identified in tab in tab A of the homicide trial record that is accompanying this letter, and then to report all the details regularly to the Ontario population. So, other crimes that have been committed were freedom of religion. It's okay, I don't need that. Section 176, obstructing religious service or good purpose or good moral gatherings like birthday parties, Christmas, etc., without due process on oath. Nobody got anything on oath, still to this day. And also in tab A of this homicide trial record, it's a murder trial record, we have 122 pages of freedom of information requests from police services, hospitals, Health Ontario, Health Canada, etc., stating that there's no records of SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19. 122 pages. So it's therefore a hoax. Section 83.231, bracket 1 of the Canadian Criminal Code, and then I think in bracket 4, if there's a death, it becomes life in prison. It still doesn't matter. It's still murder. The people in Aylmer could not buy food in their own hometown because they were discriminated against because they were not wearing masks or whatever. So if you're denied the ability to buy food, that is the destruction of an identifiable group, those with mask exemptions. That is the definition of genocide, and genocide is life in prison. So we are accusing the Lieutenant Governor of all of these crimes, and it gets even better for those who want the feds, because in the third sentence of the Canadian Bill of Rights, essentially it says Parliament shall ensure the protection of these rights and freedoms in Canada. We know that Parliament went way out of their way to not ensure the protection of these rights and freedoms in Canada, like due process, as well as equality before the law and protection of the law, as in intake offices at the Ontario Courts of Justice being closed. So we could not even attempt to put any of these people in prison. Only the cops could do it, and they were told very likely not to do anything. So Parliament is defined as the Queen, the Senate, and the House of Commons. So we don't have a queen anymore, but the king also probably never said a word about the violation of the laws. And so we are criminalizing all of them. So that would be Parliament, the Queen, the Senate, the House of Commons, the Queen, the Senate, the House of Commons, the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. Mischief, section 430, properties were made inoperative, ineffective, or obstructed without due process, again. And children, reckless endangerment of children. Children have shown up attempted suicides showing up at hospitals. We've actually reported that word for word, and we transcribed it right in here to Hamilton Police. And in the FOI report, there is no mention of the harm to children and attempted suicides of children coming into the hospital on attempted suicides. So that's why we're coming to a police force that we've never been to come and disband the police services that we've been to, who've done nothing, and probably charged the senior command of crimes being parties to the offense and other things. So I don't really have much else to say. I probably can say a lot more, but I'm drawing blanks because I'm just drawing blanks right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Oh, no, wait. So if you want to focus in on this here, if you can. This is the Ontario finances. The bottom chart graphic is the debt. It's a negative number, increasingly negative. The Ontario debt is over $400 billion. If we could get to a surplus of $250 million, which we can't, it would take 1,600 years to pay off. Yeah, that's longer than the lifespan of a human being. So that would be fraud. That would be section 380 of the Canadian Criminal Code, fraud. And it's also fraudulent concealment, 341, because nobody told anybody that it's going to take 1,600 years or when or what. So it's fraudulent concealment, 341 of the Criminal Code. And it gets even better on our part. The person who put us into debt is the Ontario Lieutenant Governor through the Ontario Loan Act 2022, the Ontario Loan Act 2021, the Ontario Loan Act 2020, the Ontario Loan Act 2019, and on and on and on. So it's the Lieutenant Governor who's committed fraud on the Ontario population through debt increase. Can you turn this around upside down the other way? So I can see. Yeah. Similarly with the feds, this is a federal government. You can see that the bottom line is going to hell as a negative number. The federal debt is over $1 trillion, and if they could get to a consistent surplus of $500 million, it would take 2,000 years to pay off. Again, the feds. And that would be the Parliament, the Queen, the Senate, the House of Commons, the King, the Senate, the House of Commons. While people are essentially poor in comparison to the royals, we have the debt, and the royals have a lot of money. I'm not complaining about people who have a lot of money, but that's fraud. Okay? So now also, the orders that locked us down, if you want to take close-ups of this here, these are signatures on the orders in council that locked us down. The top signature is Doug Ford. There's no F. There's no Ford. This locked us down. The second signature, the middle one, you can see the capital D, the upper right quadrant of the capital D is missing, and the lower part of the capital D is missing, and then the baby D on Ford, the stem is missing. These are signatures that locked us down. These are from the orders in council. The bottom signature doesn't even look like any of the other three signatures. And this has been reported to the police. We have asked the police to question the Lieutenant Governor. Madam Lieutenant Governor, are the signatures here in the criminal information, are they authentic and real? We've not had police ask that question. Over here, so essentially I've got the main signatures, but you can see the variety of different defects in the signatures. Over here, the line is missing under Ford. Okay, these are the orders in council. So if I was the Lieutenant Governor, and this guy here was the one signing it like that, I would say, Premier, you okay? Based on these signatures. So this is forgery. 366 criminal code. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. All right, everyone, let's get our flags. We'll get packed up a little bit, and then we'll go present this crime. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, Anthony?
Just, if you guys are looking for footage of today's event, it will be on the Hamilton Freedom Movement YouTube page, okay? Just to let everybody know where to find it if you want the video. All right, thank you very much.
I'll also mention Free Speech
I hold
Media
it.
as well.
You should.
Thank you for coming by.
Okay, good.
Great webpage, great
One more.
Facebook page.
Yeah. Do the next one.
Make sure, and as well, we'll also be posting on our page, Ontario
thank you.
Papers for Freedom as
This.
well. All right,
Know
everyone,
what that is?
let's go.
You will.
It's okay.
Turn it.
It's okay. get in front of it.
So you're not getting an inspector down here then? No, sir. Because I'm accusing you of a crime. I'm accusing you of obstruction of justice.
Sorry, sir. OAPD.
No, this is criminal. Like this is now a criminal
There's a police
complaint.
officer here that we can
So now
report this
now we're reporting him. So you guys, okay, what's your name and badge number, sir?
4346.
And you're?
4422.
Thank you very much.
So how we can rely on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proud of yourself, eh? Hope you sleep well at night.
Yeah.
Game's over. The pawns go back in the same box with the king.
Yep.
So much. We really appreciate you guys.
Let's go back. We did what we could. Let's go back because we did what we could.
And you cannot even cut me. I know that. I am not expecting you gonna tell me you are a victim here. But we all know police is the victim because when the government is setting up situation, when the people to be able to work, they have to get experimental jobs or
Just like the military.
Justice will come, don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll do our
All right, let's go,
You don't have
guys.
to even defend yourself. You have a family and mortgage.
At some point they will come for our families and
We are
our
looking
kids.
for some kind of solution of this problem. We cannot find it.
But there must
Yeah.
be investigation before we decide. And nobody wants to make investigation.
And that's why everything should start from that. And we don't know how,
No,
how to get it right.
It's how did he get there? However he got there needs to be fixed because it doesn't matter who comes in after him. We're still going to go down that
We
line.
talked to many
Right.
people, to all our